It is day 48 of 50 days of fitness. And one of the things that's happening to me now is that I'm starting to, when I do a set, I'm starting to get sweaty a little bit. And up until really just recently, that was not the case. And so I would say that oh, by the way, got my first cup of coffee. I've earned my first cup of coffee. But one of the things I'd say there's two factors that I can think of that's affecting that. Number one is over this time, this is almost 7 weeks. We've been gradually increasing the intensity, both in terms of the amount of weight in many cases, as well as the number of reps. And so, with that in mind, this is quite a big escalation from where we started back almost 7 weeks ago. The other thing that is happening is that it is spring here. When we started this, it was still winter. And so, with that, it's gotten much warmer. My I In the wintertime, I keep my thermostat at 62. And so it's cool in here. And so now, I don't have air conditioning on or anything else, but the temperature now, this morning in here is like 73 or 74. So that's a big increase in terms of the temperature as well. And so that made me think, see, I told you I'm sweating. That made me think a little bit about thinking about temperature when you're working out. Several years ago, when I was first doing running and all those things, I kind of originally thought of running and biking, as summer activities. And I would still say I would consider biking a summer activity. But the more I ran, the more I began to realize, or at least feel like, running was actually a winter activity. And it was something where you could do, and you can learn how to dress. It's not winter now, so I won't go through all of that. But you can learn how to dress for pretty much any temperature and go running. And, there's what the temperature is, whether it's raining or snowing, whether it's sunny. There are these different factors that you think about, but after you kind of figure it out, you can go out in almost any temperature. I know one of my very best friends who I used to run with a lot. We went out and we ran several miles when it was minus 15, 15 below zero wind chill. And I'm not saying that it wasn't cold, because it was, but you learn how to dress so that you can do that. So on the other hand, so as you run, the temperature does make a difference. So I guess I didn't think I was going to get into this, but I guess I am. So when you're figuring out like temperatures to run in, generally, like I would run around a 10-minute mile. And if you run around a 10-minute mile, usually when you get to be around 50 degrees outside, Fahrenheit, you can run in a t-shirt and gym shorts. In fact, really, you could even run without a shirt in that temperature. And then if it goes above that, and so like when I was doing the marathon training, I would go out and, a lot of times when you get up to the higher miles, I'd be running 3 or 4 hours at a time. And so I would run without a shirt most of the time. And but you have to kind of learn how to do that. But there is another key to that, and you can adapt to the heat. You can adapt to the heat and run in. I did that as well. I ran in 80, 90 degree weather at times, but you have to adapt to it. If you don't work your way into it, then that's a good way to get a heat stroke. And the way you do that is you kind of gradually run in those temperatures and gradually increase. And so that's important. But probably more than anything, the most important thing is fluid, is having enough water and stopping and getting water. And so like I know that when I would run, if I ran a mile or two, generally I wouldn't drink water. And it got to the point that really I could run, 6 or 7 miles or without any water. But when you start getting above that, even if you don't feel like you need the water, you need to go ahead and take it. And so I started drinking, and I would drink a certain amount, usually, probably around 4 ounces or so every 4 miles. And you want to have water with you. You want to make sure that you're making regular water stops and all those things. And if you do that, so if you gradually increase your exposure in the heat and you're making sure that you're taking care of your water, you can build up a pretty good heat tolerance to be able to do all kinds of, I also would, you have to do the same thing when you're biking as well. Yeah, biking, you can overheat on a bike as well. And it's the same thing, is you want to make sure that you have enough fluid and you want to build yourself up into those warmer temperatures. But if you do it, you can do it. And so, but getting back to this, from 62 to say 74, that's 12 degrees. That's a big temperature increase. And it may not seem like it, but it really is. And so that is one thing, is I am finding, and so that will also affect your perceived exertion. That, if you are working out and it's cooler, you will not seem to feel as you're exerting as much or as tired in cooler temperatures as you will in warmer temperatures. So those are things to think about when you are working where it's warmer, or if you're going to work outside, or work out outside and get exercise out there, which incidentally is a really good thing to do. It's good to get out there. It's good for the sun exposure. It's just good to be outside some and do those things, but you do have to pay attention to temperatures. And one of the main things you have to do with that is make sure that you're getting good fluid intake. And water is one of the good things, but like especially if you're doing endurance sports or those kinds of things, if you're going to be out there for a pretty significant time, water by itself may not be enough. You may need something with electrolytes in it. And so there, that's Gatorades and those kinds of things are really good for that kind of stuff. There are people who will, I don't know that I would recommend this necessarily. I would say it would depend upon you. Some people will do like salt water. Some people do pickle juice. Some people swear by pickle juice. I have never really done that, but there are people who say that. So those are ways where in addition to having enough water, your electrolytes can get out of balance. And so that's something to think about too. So that's my thing about temperature. Kind of, I finished my first thing. This is a more intense week. Next week should be easier. Although we're wrapping up this series here, there's 2 more days after today. But I'm going to continue on for a little while, and but next week will actually be a step down for me, and then I'll kind of build my way back up. And so that wraps up today. I did another weigh-in today. Tomorrow is the official, but I did another one today. It's still 200, so I'm getting close to nearly 3 weeks at 200, very, very steady. So I don't know if I'm going to lose much more than this. I don't feel like I feel like I have more to lose. I definitely have some belly fat, rolls of fat here and there that are still hanging on, but I don't seem to want to lose any more weight. So I don't know. We'll see. Well, we'll call that a day, day 48. Tomorrow, day 49. And I still haven't decided about the next 50-day challenge. And I think I'm going to take a few days, maybe up to a week or so before I start a new one, because I want to think about it. I also want to do some prep for it and think about how I'm doing these. I know that chewing them every day, I want to have a video out every day, but taping every day or recording every day, I got to say that's presented some challenges. There's been a number of times, the last 2 days in particular, where in all honesty, I wasn't really happy with the video and I kind of felt like I should redo it. But it's hard to do that all in one day, to kind of redo them if something doesn't go right. It's not always easy to have time to redo them. So I just need to get them out. I know I'm not happy with them, but I just need to put them out. And so I'm thinking about that a little bit. And some of it's like, for some of the stuff I want to do, I think the quality may be important, and maybe I need to record them in batch and then release them a day at a time. So I got some things to sort through. Anyway, that's it for now. I hope to see you tomorrow for day 49. We are 2 days away from wrapping this up. And have a great day. Take care, everybody. Bye.